Ever spend like a whole day, maybe even 2 days, uh, trying to find just like one number in a stack of spreadsheets?
Yeah.
You know that feeling, right? Like it's got to be in here somewhere, but finding it is like, I don't know, spelunking or something.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Well, good news for all you data spelunkers out there, because today's deep dive is all about TeselaGen. They're like, I don't know, data archaeologists for biotech.
Okay, I like that.
So picture this. All your research data, like lab notes, gene sequences, the whole 9 yards, all pulled together, organized, and ready to go.
Right.
That's the dream, right? And that's what TeselaGen is going for. So let's see how they're tackling this.
And what's really interesting here is that this isn't just about like saving researchers a little bit of time or frustration, though that is a big part of it. It's a problem that's becoming more and more of an issue across all of science.
Yeah.
We're creating so much data now,
Yeah.
like a tidal wave of data.
It's true.
High throughput experiments, gene sequencing, AI analysis, all these amazing tools that are frankly producing way more information than we know what to do with.
It's a good point.
So you have these great tools,
Mm.
but if you can't organize the data and make sense of it, then those tools are kind of useless.
Exactly. And the PDF we've got here really highlights that problem. TeselaGen is saying that all this jumbled up data is a huge roadblock, especially for companies that are working with those, what are they called?
Specialty chemicals,
Yeah, those.
like Ficus Biotechnologies,
Yeah.
they're doing amazing stuff with algae-based bioplastics.
Yeah, they're the ones quoted in this PDF. What was it? Vikram Pandit, the CEO, said something like, they have data all over the place, different formats, and now that they're growing, it's almost impossible to make sense of it.
That's the one. And they're a perfect example. They're doing cutting-edge work, but this data problem is slowing them down.
Makes sense. It's going to be super frustrating.
Absolutely. And TeselaGen argues that this is impacting everything: analysis, decision-making, even how fast new discoveries can be made.
So it's not just about having the data, it's about actually being able to use it.
Precisely.
So how do we get out of this mess?
Right. So how does TeselaGen actually fix this?
Yeah, what's their big idea?
Well, they talk about their approach as a connected resource.
Hmm.
So it's not just one tool. It's more like a whole suite of tools, a whole platform, right? And it connects to all the different sources of data: lab equipment, software, databases. It brings it all together.
Okay, so it's like a data hub.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But the real magic is how it links everything. They're laser focused on making that data usable.
I like that.
So imagine pulling data from your PCR machine straight into the platform where you've also got all your team's experimental notes.
Okay, now this is where I get really interested. Because I know a lot of our listeners, they love to really dig into the details. And the next couple of things I want to talk about, I think they're really going to like. TeselaGen really emphasizes standardizing data, which just makes sense.
Apples to apples.
Yeah, exactly. And get this, you can customize how the data's structured.
Oh, wow.
They even let you build your own tools, parsers is what they call them, to pull data from specific instruments.
Okay, so you can really tailor it to your needs.
Yeah.
That level of customization is huge. It means that the platform adapts to the research you're doing, not the other way around.
Right. It's doing the work for you.
Exactly. And they also talk a lot about schema creation.
Schema creation. So I'm going to be honest, I don't speak fluent data. What is that?
It's actually pretty simple. A schema is like a blueprint for your data. It tells you how the data is organized and what categories it all fits into.
Okay.
And TeselaGen lets you create these blueprints so you can decide exactly how your data is organized,
Got it.
which is really, really important,
Yeah.
especially for something like machine learning.
Oh, how so?
You need good organized data to be able to train algorithms effectively. If it's a jumbled mess, you're not going to get very far.
That makes sense. Good data, good analysis.
Exactly. It's like building a house. You need a good foundation.
100%.
And since we're all about understanding information, I love that they also focus on data visualization.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people, they're visual learners.
Oh, yeah.
You like to be able to see the patterns, see the trends.
Absolutely.
And TeselaGen gives you the tools to be able to do that with your data.
Very cool.
So you don't need to be a spreadsheet whiz to make sense of it all.
Right. Okay, so we've talked a lot about features and everything, but how does this actually work in the real world? The PDF mentions a single data repository, streamlined workflows, standardized collection, but what does that actually look like day to day?
Okay, so imagine this. You're a scientist, and you're working on a new gene therapy.
Okay.
You've got data coming from your gene sequencing machines, cell cultures, maybe even patient records.
Right, tons of data.
And TeselaGen lets you take all that data and put it all in one place. And because it's standardized and organized, you can actually compare it and analyze it in meaningful ways.
So you can actually use the data.
Yes. And you can see trends, identify potential problems, make decisions faster, and ultimately get that life-changing therapy to patients faster.
Wow, so it's not just about pretty graphs and charts.
Yep.
It's about making the entire research process faster.
Exactly. It's about connecting the dots faster and making better decisions because you've got this clear, complete picture of what's happening.
So it sounds like TeselaGen is offering a platform, not just a piece of software.
I think that's a really good distinction.
And they're really going after a major problem in biotech.
They are. Which actually, that makes me think about something. If we can make scientific data more accessible, if we can make it more usable, what could we do? What new discoveries could we make? What innovations could we come up with? What if researchers could spend less time wrestling with their data and more time thinking about it?
That is an excellent question, and I think I'm going to leave that with our listeners to ponder. So if you're out there, if you're in academia, a startup, or even a bigger company, and you're dealing with this data deluge, definitely check out TeselaGen's website. And with that, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Until next time, happy exploring!